All right, let's talk about the core balance and mobility program, intermediate level, workout 1. Starting with some standing exercises. So hip hinges are first. Your base will be at about hip width, and then you're going to, as it implies, hinge at the hips. Feeling the stretch in the back of your leg and keeping a neutral spine. Neutral spine is the key here. So I'm not arching, I'm not rounding my spine, I'm just keeping it in a neutral position. One more here. You see my shoulders come forward, my hips go back. Overhead reaches are next. I'm going to stand with my feet together. I'm going to be engaged with my legs, squeezing my knees and hips in extension, having my arms right by my shoulders to start, and then from there I'm just going to press straight up into an overhead position. I want to come as close to overhead as I can on every repetition, trying to increase your mobility here so that your palms end up directly over your shoulders. Bracing your abdominals as well so that you don't resort to a arched back position, which tends to happen. Lateral lunge hold. I'm going to take a wide base, keep my heels down, and then I'm going to send my hips back, which you can see better from this angle, and then bend the knee. One knee stays bent, one knee becomes bent, the other knee stays straight, and I sink down nice and low, stand up from there, and I'll go side to side. You can see the angle of the torso change coming forward as the hips go back. So again here I'm hinging at the hip. I'm going to do 8 each side here. It's a really great stretch for your inner thigh, and it's great mobility exercise for your ankles and your hips. And it's a good strengthening exercise. Next we've got chin tucks. We're going to just stand tall to start, and then this is just going to be setting our neck into proper alignment, into a proper posture. Just really focusing on that for a moment. So we're going to think about, you have to tuck your whole head back together so that you're squeezing, feel like you're squeezing your neck muscles, and it's almost as if somebody's coming with a dirty hand and you're like, whoa, that's what you want to do here. So we'll do eight pulses where you'll squeeze, release, just to prime your neck to get into position. That's where you want to be. Standing rack position stretch. So standing with a rack position. So this is a rack position. You could imagine that we have dumbbells or maybe a barbell or some kind of weighted object that we're having rest on our shoulders, but we're holding onto it with our hands, getting ready to press it. So what I want to do here is I need to squeeze my elbows together, feel that I'm getting a stretch back in my shoulder girdle here, and I'm rotating my shoulder externally as well. Rotating the shoulder externally, squeezing the elbows together, and then just holding in this position for a moment. Also trying to have your hands tucked tight to your side. You're going to be actively flexing your biceps to get into that position. Hold that for 15 seconds. Next is a split stance and turn. I'm going to step one foot forward into a split stance. I'm going to reach this arm back and have my hand follow my head follow my hand. If I want, I could have my knee so that's hovering right above the ground. This is going to work your strength a little bit as well. We'll get both sides. Get your balance first and then rotate around. Reaching. Squeezing your hips also helps. Squeeze your butt while holding this position. 15 seconds each side. Standing cross-leg glute stretch. Stand, cross your legs, and then it's going to be, well, I call it a glute stretch, but it's also, I actually think it's more of a hamstring stretch. So it's just this cross-legged stretch where I want to push my hip to the side a little bit first, to the trailing leg side, and then I'll sink down. Now, I don't need to come into a rounded position. I'm not looking to stretch my back here. I'm just looking to stretch the hamstrings. So just have your body go forward as far as it can while remaining in a neutral spinal position, not rounding. 15 aside. For the next few, let's come over to a wall. The wall might help you with these. An ankle wall stretch is first. So I'm going to plant my heel down pretty close to the wall, and my toes and the ball of my foot will go up on the wall, and I'm looking to close this angle of my ankle. I'm trying to get it in as tight as I can. Stretch that out. I'm going to do it both with a straight knee and a bent knee. So straight knee first. You can hold about 8 seconds or so with a straight knee, and then have your knee bend in. You'll feel the stretch change from going and feeling it higher in your calf. When you bend the knee, you'll feel it lower in your Achilles tendon. Make sure that your hips are square to the wall, right in line with your toe. And have the knee, when you bend it, make sure it's tracking so it's over your toe. Certainly not inside of your toe. That wouldn't be the way that we want to stretch our ankle. Assisted squats are next. I can hold onto the wall as needed for assistance in the squat and help to push me out. Even better if I have something that's set up at about hip to chest height to give me assistance in the squat. And then if you don't need assistance in the squat at all, that's great. But what we're thinking about here is setting your heels down slightly wider than your hips, and you're going to think about the squat in 3 parts. First is standing tall. Second is doing a hip hinge. And then the third is bending the knees and dropping the hips as low as you can, then returning back to the first position. And you flow through it. We'll do 8 of them here. And just go as far as you can down, pain-free, with the heels remaining down and the knees tracking properly. I don't want my knees to cave in. So if you're coming to here and then you have to go like this, only go to there. We'll work on it. Wall lat stretch. I'm going to put my hands up on the wall. I'm going to push my head through and push my hips back to open up my lat muscles back here. And we want to make sure also it's good to have your palms flat on the wall. We don't want to stretch ourselves like this. We want to stretch ourselves like this. This is external rotation. Externally, you rotate your shoulders when doing any upper body stretches. One leg deadlift hold. Balance. You can use the wall for balance as needed. Place your heel down, dig those toes into the ground. Begin by flexing the hip back. This is first. And then I'm only going to, from here, the relationship between my hip, my leg, and my torso will remain the same. So I'll kick back, and I'll come down, and I can come right about to here, not quite parallel to the ground. And I'm just going to hold this position for 15 seconds each side. Okay, so I wouldn't want to go like this. See how much further my torso is than my leg? And I'm putting pressure on my lower back. I'm not even using my hips. Now you need to flex the opposite hip. You need to flex one hip while stretching the other hip. And that's how you're going to find your balance. It's going to mostly be working this up hip. That should be the hardest part of this. But if you're doing that, then you're going to have a lot easier time balancing. Wall W pulls. I'm going to stand next to the wall, get my heels back against the wall, my hips, shoulder blades, and head. Then from here, I'm going to pull my arms back so that I'm in this W shape. So my elbows are right below my shoulders. I'm trying to get my elbows back against the wall and my wrists against the wall. And I'll squeeze and release. You might not be able to get there quite yet, but this is our goal. At this intermediate level, we want to really be sure, we want to be able to squeeze it back and get into that position. Standing hip circles. Lean into the wall first. First start by leaning into the wall for this. And you can see where I am. So my feet are back, my hips are in the middle, and my hands are forward. Then from here, I'm going to begin by, again, squeezing the hips. It's the same thing we were just doing. But now I'm going to open at the hip and have my knees circle around, and then I'll repeat this motion. Yeah, a lot of squeezing the glutes here. And it's like I'm getting over a hurdle. I'll switch sides. And if I can balance here, then I can do it even without the wall. But make sure that you're able to do it through the full range of motion and then extending all the way, each repetition. You can't, you have to be able to extend all the way. Do it against the wall first, then if you've got it and you can balance, then do it balancing. And then we've got some high knee tucks. So again, you can kind of lean back against the wall if you want, if your balance is giving you trouble for this one. But if you can come out and try to stay balanced here for a moment. And you can see what I'm doing here. I'm doing a real quick stretch. I hold and release like a 1 second stretch. The other thing to notice is that I'm staying strong through the down leg. I'm going to flex this leg. I'm not going to let myself get into a rounded position to pull it into my chest. I want to stretch my hips and my hamstrings. I don't need to stretch my back. Okay, we're going to be going now on to standing bent over rows. So I'm going to be standing with my feet together on this one. I'm going to hinge at the hips, and then I'm going to hold this position while I do a rowing motion. Arms straight to start, and then I squeeze the shoulder blades together and drive the elbows back, and then I release. I like this tempo. Squeeze the back end of the motion and hold that for a 1/1000 count. And then you can get that burn. Even if you're fit, you're really squeezing, you're going to get a little burn there. It's good for you. Burpees are the second thing. Okay, so we're just going to do 8 burpees. Start with my feet together. And there's a number of different styles of burpees, but I actually want to do just the most efficient burpees that we can. I want to do these 8 burpees as quickly as possible and make you and try to do it not getting tired at all. Okay, so I'm going to start tall, and then I'm going to squat down and put my hands down. Then I'm going to shoot my feet out and drop down to my chest. Then I'm going to do one of these cobra stretches here where I keep my knees down and bridge up my shoulders. Then from here I can do one of 2 things. I can step forward into it, or I can bring both feet, I can jump both feet up to here. And then from here, I would either just step the other leg through and get to this position, and then I extend my body and place my hands overhead. So then you can flow through 8 of these. We're just looking to do them really gracefully here. And I'm going pretty fast. You could slow this down and just do each part and hold the posture for a moment. We're going for grace here. 8 of those. Get your heart rate going a little bit though too. Next one, we're going to do some standing split tricep extensions. I'm going to take a split stance, and I'm going to reach my arms overhead, and then I'm just going to bend my elbows as far as I can, and then extend them. Bend and extend. These are tricep extensions where if I added weight, I would feel them in my triceps. But actually, the first thing I feel to hold this posture even is I feel my lats and I feel my scapular muscles working to pull me back. Okay, next I'm going to do some side rolls. So check this out. You're going to start in a kneeling position here, and then you're just going to drop a shoulder, and you're going to roll your body right around, okay? I'm going to try to do this as gracefully as possible. So I'm going to roll to one side, and then I'm going to roll to the other side. Hey, look, if you're embarrassed, then you can just skip this one. I know, if you're doing this workout in a gym when a bunch of other people are watching you, this might be a little obnoxious, but I'm telling you what, it's really good for you. It feels really awesome to do this little spin, and it's fun. So if you're doing this at home, and if you have if you're in a situation where you can do that, it's really good. Try it out. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to skip in place. This is going to be, and I want to be working my arms, and I'm going to be working them in opposition of my legs as I bring it left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right. And I'm just trying to extend up, bring my knee right up to hip level. And you can see my arms, how I'm just bringing this front arm right to my chin, but I'm going to be really reaching the other arm back. Okay, we're going to move on down to the mat next, and we're going to do some side planks. We're going to do 15 seconds each side. You're probably, at this point, you're going to be working at either level 3 or level 4, so the hips and knees will be up. And you can start by splitting your legs. It's a little bit easier this way. But if I can, I'm going to try to stack my feet. And you really want to shoot those hips up, squeeze your butt, tense your abdominals. I feel my inner thighs squeezing together, my butt's really flexed, to hold that position really tight. Head's back, body's in a straight line. Symmetry is what we're going for. Okay, arch holds. I'm on my back. I'm on my belly. My palms are going to be down by my side, palm down. I'm going to squeeze my butt to lift my legs. I'm going to flex my abdominals, and you can see the effect of that. It really lifts my shoulders off the ground. And then I'm going to squeeze the shoulder blades to hold this position. I'm reaching my arms down my side, really flexing my lats, and I'm going to hold for 15 seconds, and that one's really tough. And it's really the tighter you're squeezing, it doesn't matter how fit you are. If you can really get your body to squeeze as tight as you can, it's going to be strenuous. Kneeling pointers. Kneeling position. I'm going to do opposite arm and leg. I'm going to lift my left arm and my right leg. I'll just extend straight out and really try to extend on this one as far as you can on every repetition. Working on your balance and looking to maintain a neutral spine. I don't want to arch or round my spine in this exercise. I have to keep a light to medium tense of my abdominals the whole set. Good. Hollow holds are next. It's pretty much the opposite of the arch hold. So I'm going to crunch up to lift my shoulder blades. I'm going to reach my arms, palms up, down by my side. And then I'm going to lift my legs, point the toes, squeeze the quads and glutes. Same thing here. It doesn't matter how fit you are. If you're really squeezing as tight as you can, oh yeah, that's going to be work. Front planks next. On the elbows, and we're just going to squeeze it tight. Same thing. Squeezing your arms even, flexing your biceps, triceps, chest, abdominals, butt, and quads. 15 seconds. Side lying bridge hold. On your back. Bridge your hips up. And we'll just hold this for 15 seconds. Again, squeezing your butt. Back of your legs are going to get a good workout today. And then release. Side lying leg lifts. Body extended. And I'm going to lift and release. I'm just lifting the foot. I am not rotating at the hip. Lifting the hip, not rotating. 8 on my right. 8 on my left. Feel it on the outside of your butt. Kneeling pot stirs. Okay, so this is an exercise that if you have a slidey surface, this is, you would want to use the slidey surface. So I can put my towel off of the rug and onto this little bit of just hardwood here. If you don't have this, then the option would be to just walk your hands around in this position. So this is a kneeling posture. So I'm in the kneeling position, and then if I have the towel set up here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to draw a circle, and this floor is a little sticky for me, but I'm just going to be trying to basically draw a circular shape, and it's really taxing. My abdominals are really having to work, especially to bring my hands across my body like this. I'm having to really pull in all directions, and man, it works really well. And then we have some lying side crunches. On my back, knees are bent. I'm just going to crunch up to start, and then I'm going to touch my right ankle, left ankle. And I'll just do 8 touches each side here, getting this little bit of mobility of your thoracic spine and strengthening it. Okay, next we're going to do some crossover leg sweeps. 8 each side. Let your head relax, and then I'm going to have my legs sweep across the ground and touch close to my outstretched arm. It's by my hip. I'm letting my hips rock over from side to side a little bit. My shoulders will too. Really, my hips and shoulders are working pretty closely together as I swivel. And I feel a stretch on the back and also the outside of my hips. Seal stretch. I'm going to place my elbows down. I'm going to fully extend my hips. If I can push up onto my palms, that's great. If I widen my hands, that brings it down a little bit. But also I'm tensing the back side of my body. So I'm going to squeeze my hips, point the toes. Reverse clams. I can lie on my side for this one. Or better yet, I can lie on my back. And so what we'll do here is we'll make a fist. We'll squeeze the fists with the knees. And then we'll rotate at the hip and trying to rotate my feet as far apart as I can. And I feel a pinch. I feel like I'm working really my hip girdle here, especially the inside and the front and the outside. Lying leg kicks. Lie down on my back, extending one leg, keeping it on the ground, the other leg's extended, and I'm going to do some kicking motions. I can be this is an active stretch here, so I'm actively pulling my leg into its fullest range of motion. If If you're a little tighter like me, this is going to feel like it's spring loading here. You won't have as much range of motion, but you're trying to get find your optimum range. Side lying external rotation from the shoulder. Lie on your side, pinch your elbow down by your side, and make sure it's not in front of you. Like here, I want it to be back a little bit. Squeeze the shoulder blade back. You can just rest the hand on your head here, and then you're going to rotate at the shoulder. 90-degree bend in the elbow. And I feel that this is a rotator cuff exercise. It gets 3 of your major rotator cuff muscles pretty well. And it's just priming you for great posture and training your external rotation of the shoulder. 8 each side. Mountain climber holds. So you're going to come into this hurdler position. One leg is going to be up, the other leg is going to be back, and back knee is extended. I'm bracing my weight with my 2 arms and my 1 front leg, and I'm going to feel a stretch underneath my hip in my glutes, my hamstrings. 15 each side. Just try to relax into it. Start to bring attention to our breathing a little bit more. I want you to get full breaths all the way in and all the way out. Okay, next we'll do some lying roll to touch toes overhead. Okay, so this one is for your mid-back and your hips. So it's going to be, if you're gonna go over here. Okay, so you're going to try to pull. This is a start, but you're going to try to work your way to going as far overhead as you can, ultimately touching your legs to the ground behind you. And I am not a model of mobility for this one. I need to do this more. But you're going to do 8 of these. You can push through your arms as well to control the stretch and to pull you a little bit further into the stretch. Whew. Okay. Actually, just do 5 of that one. All right, so next let's do some straight legs seated stretch. Extend your legs out in front of you, and then just sit into an upright position. Breathing. You can flex your toes. Feeling the stretch in the back of the leg. Not letting the back slouch here. Let's stay tall. 15-second hold. Pretzel stretch. Crossing one leg over the other. Reaching in between your legs to grab your back leg and then pulling your legs into your chest. Feeling the stretch on the glutes. The glute of the crossed leg. Probably, if I only do one stretch in a day, this is the one I do. Top. Kneeling hip flexor stretch with quad stretch against wall. So for this one, yeah, you're going to be coming closer to the wall. Bring your mat over. And just a trick, just keep in mind, you can double up your mat here. And I'll place the knee down close to the wall. And the foot's going to go up on the wall, and then I'm going to come up into a upright kneeling position. And this is quite a stretch for your whole quad and hip flexor area. Ease your way into it. Start with your knee back. Start with your knee further from the wall so that there's less angle at your knee, and you can work your way up to getting your knee closer to the wall. 15 seconds each side. Kneeling lateral lunge stretch. So I'm kneeling and then I'm just going to kick one leg out to the straight, kick it out straight to the side. I'll send my hips back and then I'll feel the stretch on my inner thigh here. This is the last one. that out. Inner thigh, might feel it in my ankle, outside of my lower leg. Okay, great. So let's conclude today's session with a foot massage. So I'm just going to spend about a minute each foot, and I'm going to use my thumbs, use my hands, dig into the arch of the foot first. Work that out, see if it's tender, and you can probably really dig in there with your thumbs. Now I can go to the top of the ball of the foot, and I can scrunch that around there. Yeah, we're just trying to scrunch it up and get some blood flowing to the area, and actually also pushing the fluids, helping the fluids along on their way, manually manipulating your lymphatic system to carry those toxins away from your extremities. And then I can go to the top of the foot, I can go to the heel, other foot. And if you have any implements that you want to use, you have like a lacrosse ball, people roll the arch of their foot on a lacrosse ball. You can get a foot massage from your significant other, or you can go get a sports massage. All highly recommended, but do treat yourself to some massage. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you had a good workout. Make sure to make a comment. Leave me some feedback on how this workout went. See you next time.